Hello and welcome to another episode of Laptop Retrospective. And a while ago, I had the opportunity of featuring one of their first Maonocasters, the Maonocaster Lite, on the channel. And it was a pretty good offering. However, I think that the Maonocaster E2, which we have in front of us, improves on it in pretty much every measurable way that a product can be improved. So this specific one is a E2 bundle, and it comes with the AM E2 console, which we see here, and then the AU PM 320T microphone over here. And that microphone is a 25mm diameter capsule that features an XLR connection. And that is one of the big exciting pieces to this because it was one of the components that was missing from the previous generation. So some of the features that they improved on is they have now just customizable sound pads. The previous ones had ones that were pre-programmed from the factory that you couldn't change, and they were kind of hit and miss whether or not they were going to be useful to you. In this instance, we have 3 60-second sound pads and 8 20-second sound pads that can be saved into the memory, which is a pretty good idea. We also have XLR capability with phantom power, and that's really important because now you can use this with pretty much any microphone that you want out there. You're not limited to strange ones with like 3.5mm inputs. And overall, you're just getting a lot more control for a very specific set of circumstances rather than trying to be an everything machine. So let's open the box and see what we get on the inside. We have a user manual, which is pretty detailed and in color, which I always appreciate with any company that takes the time to do these sorts of things. It really does set them above some of the competition. We have a letter to the customer, and I've seen one of these in the Maonocaster Lite. And then we also have a quick start guide on this laminated card that shows how to hook it up for basic and common applications. If we remove the foam, we have the unit itself. And this unit does have an internal 2000 milliamp battery, which is excellent if you need to use it somewhere where you cannot plug in. Over here on this side, we have the microphone capsule. And we have an accessory box. And underneath this panel, we have a whole bunch of microphone goodies. So we've got a shock mount, an XLR cable, some earbuds for mixing, as well as a few other accessories for the microphone, including a pop filter stand and stand leg. So I'm going to take all this out and then we can dive into it a little further. All right, so here is the microphone fully assembled. It is considerably adjustable, considering we have this piece down here to extend, and we can also pivot the piece over here to whatever angle we wish. The pop filter installs easily enough onto the shock mount, and the shock mount does exactly what you would expect it to do. Inside the earbud box, we do have a good set of, fairly simple earbuds that if you absolutely had none of your own, it's good that they are included, so you can literally open the box and take full advantage of all the features. In our accessory box, we have a 3.5 to 3.5mm jack. We have another one. And then we have a USB Type-C to USB Type-A, which would be used for connecting to the computer. If we take a look at the unit itself, let's begin our exploration on the rear of the device. So we do have a XLR mic in, and you can actually customize the type of microphone that's plugged in, as well as the decibel boost that you're looking to get from that microphone. We do have a 1/4-inch jack, which could be used for instruments or any other device, really. You have a second mic 2 in slot, which could be used for lapel microphones or anything else that's 3.5mm. You have an aux in, which could be used for audio in, so if you're looking to mix something. You have a monitor, so if you have speakers or if you're using a headset, you can monitor the audio of the device using that jack. You have 2 live outputs, USB Type-C to connect to the computer, and then a USB Type-C DC 5V to power and charge the unit. Over here we have a illumination button, and then we have the power button as well. On the front we have a simplified control layout that has the overall output over here, monitor, pitch, the instrument, high, low, and mid for that microphone, an aux, so for music. We have your mic 1 and mic 2, your phantom power button for 48 volt, your Bluetooth button because you can of course connect with this via Bluetooth, and then of course you have your Soundpad buttons which we discussed earlier. Over here we have 2 sets of reverb, pad volume, reverse reverb, sidechain capability. If you want to run music only, you can hit that. Your denoise is your sound cancellation. Loopback and dry wet means that if you're applying any filters to the microphone input, you can toggle this on and off to hear what it sounds like before and after. And on the front, we also have 2 places where you can plug in headphones to listen to the output as well. So this, in a lot of ways, is a fairly capable and inclusive in terms of features recording station for music, podcasts, or any kind of sound mixing on the move or a tabletop solution makes sense. And of course you could use it for gaming, streaming, pretty much whatever these outputs will allow you to do within the context of your situation. I'm going to plug all this in, play with it, and report my findings to you next. Okay, this is the sound of the included microphone in the kit, and it is running off of a 48 volt phantom power, and I currently do not have the noise cancellation turned on. So in between pauses, you can hear small pieces of background noise. Once I toggle on the sound cancellation, this is what you can expect things to sound like. So it just takes out some of that background hums and haws and pops and whatever else that you don't want necessarily to be heard, to create a more professional sounding sound. Now, some of the other things that we've got going on here involve things like reverb. There are 6 different reverbs that are built in, and I currently have them turned down, but if I turn them up, you'll be able to hear the sound effect, and I can toggle it between these different settings so you get an understanding of what different reverbs this thing might be capable of doing. Like so. And this one. However, for most of what I'm doing, I'm going to be keeping the reverb off. If you want to hear the microphone with what all the sound effects sound like turned off, you can use the dry wet button. And a few other things to note is that this does come with an auto-tune function, and it's actually this touch capacitive button that we see over here. So if you tap that, it will cycle through all the different audio tune notes, and you'll see the little indicator lights light up, although they are very dim lights, mind you, especially in bright studio lights, but that'll give you an idea of the effects that you get while toggling through all these different options. And then to toggle off, just press and hold. So let's try messing around with music as an accompaniment. All right, let's try adding some music. So while this track is playing in the background, there are a few things that we can do with it. So I can obviously up the music volume. And if I want my voice to come through clearer, I can use the sidechain function that kind of, puts the music into the background, but my voice still comes out at the front. And if I want only the music to come through, toggle the music button, and it completely ignores that. And then there we go, right back to that. And then of course we can just turn that down. All right, so I've tried the Soundpad feature, and the best piece of advice I can give you is if you are looking to record sound effects or audio from a source, it doesn't seem that it looks at the aux in. It only looks at the microphone jacks. At least that's what I've been able to deduce here. So what I've gone and done is I went to YouTube and found my favorite movie scream of all time, and I've bound it to the A button.
The black spot!
Fantastic. So overall impressions of this are good. It's great to see that we have phantom power, XLR capability, so you can really use any microphone that you want. The inputs and controls setup, to me, is a much more streamlined, user-friendly, and more customizable experience. If I was looking for a couple things that they could continue to improve, One would be the readability of these dials in high studio light situations. Like right now, those are kind of washed out and a little bit difficult to see. Much better in the dark, mind you, but under high light, not so much. At any rate, I will leave some links in the description down below if you are looking to pick up one of these for yourself and give it a whirl. I think overall, if you are looking to record some audio and you're just starting out, or the budget's a little tight, this is a fantastic place to start with very few compromises. I'd like to thank Maono for sending this unit to me. I did not personally purchase it. However, I am not receiving any monetary compensation beyond the receiving of the product to make this video and provide my opinions. And if you enjoy this sort of content and would like to be notified when I feature another audio product similar to this, I'd encourage you to do the big four. Please like the video, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so the next time I feature something like this, you'll be the first to know about it. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.